Kindie Rockstars. Prepare for a treat, let's meet and greet some bands and singers that are super sweet, making music that's fun for boys and girls. Help them learn about this great big world. Fun for the family, yes it's true, your kids will love it and you will too. Clap and dance and sing aloud, become a part of the Kindie crowd. These songs will make you move your feet and give your ears a great big treat. So settle in, grab your guitars, and let's get to know our Kindie Rockstars. Hello everyone, and welcome to Kindie Rockstars. This is the show that gives you the stories behind the songs from some of the best bands and singers that are making fun, informative, educational, catchy, and occasionally silly songs for children and families. I'm your host, Patrick Adams, and each episode of Kindie Rockstars will feature an artist and a featured song. So let's get to this week's show. I am excited today to be here with Grammy Award-winning children's musician, Steve CoolBeans Pullara. Steve, welcome to the show.
How you doing?
I am doing great. So tell me about your background. How did you get into Kindie music? What inspired you?
Well, I always wrote fun songs, and I was invited to play at a coffee house because a friend of mine had heard that I wrote fun songs. And somebody said, these really are appealing to children and families. You should sing them live. So I thought about it, and I then was invited to sing to special needs children, but I did not know they were special needs children. That's the interesting part of the story. And they were responding to me. And also festivals and libraries started booking me too, because my music connected. And that's how it all started. And 35 years later, here I am. Still doing it. Yeah.
That's awesome. So what are some of your early memories of just being in the world of children's music? I know, society has evolved so much since, the 80s and 90s, but what's kind of the evolution been like for you?
It's been interesting. There's more people doing it now. When I did it, there was very few people doing what I do. There was maybe 5 regionally. Now that's expanded to 30, I think, or who knows, it's become a career or vocation for people. And that's a beautiful thing, because what better could you do than to entertain children and families? So I've always enjoyed it. I love seeing everybody happy, seeing families singing and dancing together. I'm very interactive, so there's a lot of participation on my stage antics. I also appear solo, duo, trio, or full band, according to what the festivals or music series would like. And I try to change it up. And then there's ones that are favorites. And what's really funny is I'll change up my set list, and if I miss a song, they let me know. It's kind of cute that way. Like, they have specific favorites. And there was one song that I ushered out of the program once. I'll never forget this. And this dad comes up to me with his daughter, holding his daughter, and she had my magnet with my face on it in her hand. And he goes, Steve, can you please, and this is like, what I'm about to say is it's a standard public domain song called 5 Little Monkeys. But I have it designed that it's very like cha-cha-like with lots of hand signals. And this dad, now we were breaking down. The drummer was breaking down. The bass player was putting his stuff away. He goes, please sing the 5 Little Monkeys song, or this will be a very long trip home. She's all upset. So the audience is leaving and everything. So I just said, okay, everybody, we have a special request from the audience. We're going to do the 5 Little Monkeys song. And, everybody was thrilled. Here I'm like thinking that they want something different. but you just don't know with kids. You just don't know. That's the funniest thing, you know.
That was a good encore. So what inspired the name Cool Beans?
Actually, that name was given to me by kids. There was a person I worked with in a corporation where I was an art director, and there were people who literally got me out to sing in the community. And she would always say, "Cool Beans." Like, it was just a constant phrase with her. And I was forming my company, and I thought that'd be a great name for a company. So I named my company Cool Beans Music, but I never booked myself as Cool Beans. I booked myself as Steve Pullara and his Invisible Friends. That was the original name of the band, but they started putting it on marquees. The Cool Beans Band, Steve Pullara and his Cool Beans Band. So the public technically named me, and that's where it is today.
Yeah, I had to laugh. I had to laugh because I remember saying that phrase all the time.
Well, I trademarked it. I trademarked it. Usually once every year or every 2 years, somebody tries to call themselves the Cool Beans Band or variations of that, and they can't because I've trademarked it. I had law advice, and I'm so glad I did, because there's no confusion, and usually I have to send people a letter, please stop using it. And a lot of people say the same thing. Well, I've altered it. Well, you can't. It's like you can't say Special Campbell Soup or Big Red Ford. Ford is trademark. Campbell Soup is trademark. Cool Beans Music. And my official title is Cool Beans Music and Design Studio. So the trademark was written as a case to the government. So it's media, books, music, things like that. It's a case that protects you like an umbrella. And I advise everybody to do that. When you've got a good name, like the Beatles or the Rolling Stones, they're all trademarked. That's how you sell your CDs. They're under that trademark. That's what I did. And I just got beautiful. That's a beautiful story in itself. And I got excellent advice on how to do that, and had to ask people to stop using my name. And I'm glad I'm able to do that, because it would clash. It could be defining you, but not you. And you don't want that. I got 30 plus years into this business. I don't want anybody using that name. There's a lot of names you could pick. Not that one.
Exactly. Yeah. So looking back on some of the CDs you've released, and I think I've checked them out since I think back in 2005. Each seems to have a theme. Is that your approach to making each album?
Yeah, that's become a trademark of mine. I look at my albums as pieces of art. They're paced, they're written, and they're researched, and they're fun. They're not overwhelming. They're not, as I call them, clinical albums. How to do this, don't do this, do that. We can do this. Everything is your part of the experience. One album, I'll say a bunch of albums went over well. The Bullies one went all the way to a Grammy. That was received so well. So many people were interested in that. It became out of control. Another one I did that got really great reviews and has a song on it that made more money than any song I've ever written. And the song is Guess Who's Coming Home, from Airplay. And that's all about deployed parents in the military, and how children are on the other end of the letters, writing the letters, and the parents are writing letters back, and that the parents do come home. And they require research. Another one I did was called Kitty Cat Under My Wheelchair, and it was all about spending a summer with a child in a wheelchair. You're not sure if it's a boy or a girl, or even why they're in a wheelchair, and coming up with ideas that would be unique, like whale watching with your parents in a wheelchair, getting on a ship. And I would be calling places like, how does a child go whale watching? I'd call the captain of a whale watching ship in New England. They probably were all telling each other, this crazy guy keeps calling me, but I want to do it right. I want it to be done right, so there's a visual in your mind. I had various albums. I'll get advisors that I call, teachers or experts. On the Bullies album, we had two recording artists who are psychologists. And we were one of the first, if not the first website that had every song available for free. Now, back when it came out, a lot of the internet tools were being developed. And one of my friends was very good with that. Whoop, something danged there. And what happened was I asked him, I said, can we put every song on this website for free if a child can't afford it, or they can all do it as a class together? And we did. My friend Chuck got it to work. Every song is on there for free. And then I made sure that as I went around looking at different artists that could be invited into it, I knew two were psychologists. And what happened is, and what I wanted happened, was if there was parents or teachers that knew there were some kids portrayed in this album, or parents that they could call and get advice. And the album is not morose at all. It's designed as a playground, and that life has its ups and downs and how each situation could be resolved. And a lot of it came from my own life. That album was supposed to be a solo album. And one of my friends, Jim, who has a recording studio, suggested that I invite people on, because we had just come off of an album that we invited people in and it got a Grammy nomination. So he said, you know all these people now, maybe they'd be interested in being on the Bully album. So I have to think about it because they're expensive to do. So we came up with a situation where people would be invited onto it, and all the net profit, once I was paid back for the album and anything that anybody else put into it, then it would go to the charity. And it did, and money did. People bought it. It made all its money back, hand over fist. And that's how that all evolved. It got to meet all kinds of people. People wanted to be involved in it. And we did it, and we submitted it, and the reviews were coming in. It was just almost out of control. It was just doing so well. People still buy it too. Not as much as when in its heyday, but it did very well. So that one required a lot of research. We had a panel of experts from the National Bullying Prevention Center. And every song that came in, or poem that I wrote, or song that I wrote, or anything anybody volunteered, had to be analyzed and approved by that panel before it even got onto the CD. So everything was cleared every time. It could have been one word that changed everything. They're experts. They knew. The album cover had 3 or 4 drafts of different things. And then finally, we came up with one that wasn't anything that could be frightening to a child. It's a mysterious child holding up a placard. That's all it is. You don't know much about the person. You can't tell if he's a bully or a kid that's hiding or a kid that's just holding up a placard like a school play. And it was all specifically designed that way. And I did the artwork for that too. So it's been interesting. It's a wonderful field, children's music. It's grown a lot, and everybody has their own way of doing it. I like flights of fancy. I also like coming up with ideas that are unique but everyday experiences that you don't think about, like military families, children in wheelchairs. There's so many pets. I did zoo animals. I made that an album about all kinds of words and all kinds of animals and phonetics. The sky's the limit with children's music. And it's fun. We laugh so much. There's times where I'm singing, I just start cracking up. And my friend goes, "What's so funny?" I said, "We've been slurping for a half hour. Did we get them all right now?" This is what you do. One time I had to burp on one of the songs, and I kept drinking soda. And I had to go back to my high school years, how you would do a long deep burp. And one was a slurping, and another one was gargling. It was a dentist song. And my friend's recording studio, this is my friend Pat now, has a bathroom off to it. And we ran the recording equipment in the bathroom for the ambiance of the bathroom. And I just had glasses of water I just started gargling and spitting it out and doing all different kinds of gargles. This is my life, but it's fun. I laugh so hard at times. It's just on the a cappella album, we're doing the Boogeyman song, and it was parts where I just had to go like all these sounds. And then it got to the point I said, just stop the tape. I'm going to be laughing. And I just couldn't stop laughing because I was looking at the clock. I'm going, I've been doing this for a half hour. How am I? And it's just, and you can't get it out of your head for a while. You just need to take a break. It's all fantasy. If you lose your place and think it's real, then there's a problem, but it's not, so it's very enjoyable.
You have experienced something that I know a lot of us strive to with our work. Mm-hmm. You've won a Grammy. You've been through the Grammy experience. Mm-hmm. Talk about how that was, how it felt to be announced as the winner and go up on stage and just accept that award.
It was an amazing experience. It's a long 48 hours. People don't know that. There's events the night before. There's events when you get in. There's a big cocktail party on the Thursday that you come in. Then there is a free day, and you're taking in everything. And then there is the Grammy morning. The Grammy morning starts at 4 a.m. California time with the women who are with you. They hire somebody to do their hair, and they all meet in this one room. And there's women all over the place with these hairdressers that have a living. They probably do the Academy Awards and the Emmys too. And they find out how many women want their hair done or their nails done. And that's 4 a.m. So then the guys are up at like 6 or 7. And the reason for all that is that the Grammys you see on television is part 2 of the day. Part 1 is the morning events, and ours starts at 11 a.m. And you have to wait through to see where your category's number is. I think ours was in the 40s, category 45. So you had to sit through best opera, best this, best that. And there's a little bit of a show involved too there. So it's much longer than the television show, I think. And it's sometimes as entertainment, sometimes they're trying to keep it moving. So you're sitting there and you're a nominee and everybody's friendly, even the people you're competing with. But so you're sitting there. Now ours had 37 bands and or artists on it. I wrote the bulk of the pieces, but there was overall 37 people who even were invited to do my pieces just to keep it moving. And many of them came to the Grammys. So we were given a memo, which I knew was going to be a waste of time. It said only the 4 producers come up on stage. Please don't bring everybody up. And I looked around and my friend goes, what are you going to do? I said, I'm not telling all these people they can't come up on stage. When you look at the video, which is online on my website, you'll see a multitude of artists that came up. It was fascinating because everybody was so into the album and they all came up in their finest clothing. And I don't know how many, you have to look to see how many are there. And they were all actively involved. It was a beautiful project and everybody just wanted to help kids. And so you hear your name announced. They announced like the 5 names. And then they go, and the winner is just like in the movies. And we won. And it was like pandemonium. It's like a small city went up on stage. We were only supposed to have 4, all right? We had more than that. And what I felt was the right thing to do is the 4 producers each gave a couple lines of a sentence for a speech. So I was the welcoming producer. And then I thanked the Lord for bringing us all together. And then the next friend, Jim, wanted to thank people that were involved. The next person was, again, thanking people to involve. And the 4th one said that we were doing positive change for children. So we had it all worked out so that everybody said just about one speech, just 2 or 3 lines apiece. Everybody had their lines written. And then that was us going off the stage. Now what they do, what nobody sees, is behind the stage is a village, literally. It's just like being the Beatles. You go on the back, first of all, you get a trophy host that hosts you back there and walks you through all these rooms that television stations have bought space back there. So first we went to a British talk show. I'm telling you, like, they just walk, it was like crazy town. And every time you're in a different room, they take a Grammy out of your hand and polish it up for the person behind you, because none of them have names. So the first one was a British talk show with stools, and we're sitting there and rapid fire questions. And then the person says, okay, keep moving. So then they bring you to another one, and it's all cameras with bleachers, like from all over the world, taking pictures of you with the big Grammy backdrop behind you. Then another person takes you out of the room. They take those Grammys. Oh, the Grammy always has to be facing right. It's got to be facing a certain direction. So you make sure they're in your hand the right way and everything. And they're heavy. They're like bowling balls. They're really heavy. So then from there, we had to climb up on a stage, and it was the press bay. As far deep into that room to the right and left and deep was people with laptops firing questions at you. How do what? How many people? And on and on and on and on and on. And one gave me a card. Call me. I'd like to talk to you when this is all over. I had no idea that she was in a different time zone when I called her. So I got back like the next day. We were in a hotel room. And I figured, I'm going to call this reporter. She was very interested. I didn't know that her time zone was 4 hours difference when she went home. So she wakes up. She goes, who is this? I said, hi, I'm Steve Pullara. You said to call you. Yes, but I'm 4 hours away. It's 2 a.m. here. I had no idea. She's home, And it was just so many behind the stage. So then they take you to a photographer who's a famous rock and roll from Rolling Stone magazine, Danny Zeck or something. And he takes your picture. We walk in the room and the Beach Boys are just getting up from their photo and they're walking out. It's like, the Beach Boys are right there. It was crazy. And we sat down and we did the poses you want. We all got those pictures hanging in our house somewhere. And Danny something or other. And the night before I call it the Charlie Chaplin movie night. It's a big antique theater deep in LA with the lights in the sky and the columns look like ancient Rome. And it's where they would open movies. And that was called the Nominees Party. And that one was massive too. And that night, the Allman Brothers were inducted into the Grammy Hall of Fame. And there's all these people, Weird Al Yankovic, they're all walking around, talking to people. So I have a picture with Weird Al Yankovic.
I love Weird Al Yankovic.
The Allman Brothers have so many people through the years collected into the band, and they all gave long speeches. It's like, are they done yet? There's like so many Allmans who left, who came back, who had children, brought them in the band. They all were online to talk. One of my friends comes back to sit. She goes, you're not going to believe who was in the bathroom. Diana Ross with her grandchild. The baby was unruly. It's like 4 years old. And she's calming him down. And then she comes up and gives her speech. It's just like, normal. They just are people that are known. It was wonderful. I could tell you, if I were asked to write the itinerary down, I could write down every minute of everything we did. Because it's one of those things in your life, it's emblazoned in your head from the minute the plane landed. It was pretty neat. It was very
sounds amazing.
Yeah. Oh, Tia Carrara asked me to eat with her at her table. I had helped her promote something, and come and sit with us. And so she gets up and she greets me, and I would like to see this picture. All these cameras go off, like all these Hollywood reporters. They're probably saying, who's her new man? It was just me. We were eating crab's legs. I was like, because everybody's just normal. It's just who people portray them to be. She was very friendly. Awesome. One of my friends sprained her ankle, and she gave her an ankle boot to wear. Tia Carrera gave my friend an ankle boot to wear. Go fit. It's nuts, So
All right. Are you ready to get into a song?
Sure.
This episode's song, it's probably one of the funniest song titles I think I've run into so far for a children's song. Alien Babies from Outer Space. So I can't wait to hear the story behind this one. So go for it.
So this one is the song that technically made me a radio star in a funny way, because it goes back to the days of cassettes, when you mailed cassettes to radio stations. The song that preceded it was called Santa Got Stuck in the Mud, which I'll let you hear someday too. So we're going to go back in time 30 years. And I was mailing it around, and you hope for success. But I was also getting used to the words, it doesn't work for our show. So this friend of mine says, you should mail to this station called Kids Corner. They're the people who run Kindie Fest and KindieCom there. So I didn't know. I had just moved here. I said, okay, I'll mail it there. So I mailed it there. I also mailed it to PBS in Philadelphia, WHYY. So I figured the people that I've mailed it to have had it for a while. Let me give them a call. And I was so used to rejection, but I always would hope for the best. So I call, and they were so excited. It was Kathy O'Connor. She goes, we've been playing that song. The kids love it. I didn't even know how to answer because I was so used to, oh, thank you. You know, like I just thought, they were going to reject it. I wanted it to be successful, but usually when nobody called, I figured they weren't going to play it. But I'm so optimistic. I figured it's got to work on a children's program. It's got kids written all over just in the title. So it was played a lot. I think it made it to their top 10 or top 5 of the year for kids liking it. And then a show called Crazy College was a guy, George Stewart from Delaware. He was like the Dr. Demento of that time in Philadelphia, where he had lots of odd songs, and he loved it too. He played it a lot. And from there, I did my first album, which was called Alien Babies, my first cassette album. And then I just started moving forward with albums and songs on all kinds of subject matter. So when CDs came out, I did another version of it. And I made it sound more like a Japanese monster movie. It's got like whistling in it, all these whistlers. And that went over well. It was a different approach to it. Now we are 30 years to the present. And I felt it was time. It was time now. And now it has its full title, Alien Babies from Outer Space. So one was Alien Babies. Another one was called Alien Babies Revisited. That was the Japanese one, style in Japanese. And this one's called Alien Babies from Outer Space. And this one's doing very well. The first couple hours it was out, in less than 24 hours, there was already bumper music on a conservative talk show, believe it or not. You know, the bumper music they put in between? Twice, 2 episodes, and they said they're going to play it again. They like parts of it. It was designed in segments for types of usages. I want my music to be used. And they picked right up on parts. So if you listen to it, it's deliberately dissected where it goes bum 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 bum. The funny story with that is that's where the bass was supposed to go. And I don't write music, I just hum it. But we liked it. We left it in where the bass goes. And it's just me harmonizing bum 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 bum. And then it's the story of Alien Babies from Outer Space, which I want based on like a 1950s or 60s drive-in movie with the plot where they're coming to take you away. Rod Serling had one called How to Serve Man. I don't know if you ever saw that episode.
I remember that episode.
It's a cookbook. It's like all these people were gladly going on a spaceship to go see this new planet. But the guy that was collecting people, this guy with a big head, he was collecting them to eat them. That's why his book was To Serve Man, How to Better Serve Man. It was how to better cook them. But I didn't want it to be that scary. But it has a mystery as to why they're coming to take you away, which I'm working on another project where you'll know why. But there's a video that I was working on with a new friend of mine today. She actually did all the animation. So video's coming out, and it's really well done. So it has a lot of visuals to it. And it's basically about, if you really listen to the lyrics, that there's things changing in the world. And, sometimes people say, like, where did that idea come from? They're like from outer space. So I picked up on that kind of thing. The lyrics to the original song, to the Japanese styling of the song and this song are virtually unchanged, pretty much they're intact. And the song works. So now it has all the technological stuff of you being zapped up. You'll hear like my friend Jim Cravero at East Coast Recording Studio did all the special effects and beats because we wanted it to be a dance tune that you could see on a dance floor. And I said to him and my band, I said, I want this song to be like one you hear at weddings. I said, I know some people don't like the Macarena or the electric slide. I would love to have a song like that, where it's part of the fabric of your culture. So that's the object of this song. And it's only been out since May, and it's starting to move around in its own way, which I hope it does, I sent it to that show, Coast to Coast. You ever hear that show? Where it's on from like midnight till about 5 a.m. and it's all about UFOs, Bigfoot, people with telepathy, and they play songs in between. And I sent it as a bumper song, as a let's see. You just got to go.
Yeah, they're crazy if they didn't select that one.
It's like right up their alley. It's got paranoia and outer space in it. It's beautiful.
All right. Well, let's listen to this song, Alien Babies from Outer Space. You CoolBeans Pullara. Get ready. That was Alien Babies from Outer Space. Cool Beans. Tell everybody where they can stream and download that song and where they can find you on social media.
I'm in all the major social medias. Now I have to say Alexa really low because it's going to kick it off. But that's where I am. And then I'm in Siri, Spotify, Amazon Music, Apple Music, Pandora, one called Deezer, which I've never been on, but apparently I'm in that one too. And bunches that I don't even know where people find all this, but I'm in a whole bunch of them. And I have a website, coolbeansmusic.com, whatever that was. And go under the tab music. It has every album, every song, and every video associated with that album too. All for free.
Thank you so much for doing the show, and thank you for creating such a great body of work with your songs and videos, and hey, especially winning a Grammy.
Oh, it's my pleasure to entertain children. It's a gift, a blessing, and something I take very seriously to have a good time. So I'd like to say cool beans to you too. My life
Excellent. All right. Well, it's been an honor having you on. Thank you so much for doing this.
Oh, thanks for having me.